Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tori if you're new here, and today I am going to show you some easy budget-friendly prepper items that I like to pick up at my local Walmart. So I've had questions in the past about what I was like as a beginner prepper, and I will say it was a bit chaotic. I didn't know where I was going with it, and now I've really just honed in on what my family actually likes. And I feel like a little bit of that beginner prepper is still in me when I go to stores because I do want to save and I want to show you all how you can save too. So for this video, I went back in and looked at a prepper pantry haul from 2.5 years ago. And I was curious to see what the price change would be. Of course, inflation is just something that happens in general, but the last couple of years have been really hard on our economy and our society. I truly think that they are trying to create some sort of divide and just take out the middle class entirely. I know a lot of us are feeling that way, and unfortunately it's happening. It's real, but I feel very passionate that there are ways to get around it or ways to aid in that. So if you're new here, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. I teach you to be prepared on a budget, and I like to learn from you too. So if you're new, please comment down below. Let me know what you like to stock up on when it comes to buying on the cheap. Without further ado, let's get right into today's video. All right, here we are. This is what I picked up at Walmart, and now my plan is to show you what I paid for it 2 years ago and what it is now, if that is helpful. I just can't remember all of the numbers, and I think it will be easier if I type it out on the screen. So you will see a lot of canned items, and let me just talk about that for 1 second. Comes to my everyday life, what I like to eat. Let me come in here with some light and something more soundproof here. But when it comes to my everyday eating, here we go. That's nicer. I like to eat more fresh items, and I like to prepare from scratch meals when I have time. But when it comes to my prepper pantry, we like to do all of the things. If there ever was an emergency, I probably am not going to prepare a fresh salad with every fixing that I can, you know, some fresh meat, anything like that. I'm probably going to go for the shelf-stable food that I can cook quickly. And I know that's really hard for some people to understand, especially people from other countries. I always get comments like that telling me how bad canned food is and they don't put things in their food. And yeah, that's great for you. But I live in the United States, and it's just a little tricky to maneuver our food, especially now because they're poisoning us, and they have been forever. I talk about that openly on the channel. So when I get comments like that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying my best. But I feel like this is really helpful. Being prepared is not a one size fits all. I say it all the time. It's whatever is working for your family, budget-wise, what you actually like. I'm not going to stock up on canned carrots because I don't like them. And I've done that in the past thinking this is cheap, I need to stock up on it, and we'll just suck it up. And it just doesn't work. It goes to waste because then you have this preparedness pantry that you can't cycle through because it's food that you don't want. I luckily could put that out in our free little pantry that I created. But other than that, you know, it just was given away and no one traded anything with me. Sometimes people do, but yeah. Just saying that whatever works for you, works for you. And canned food is perfectly fine. I, of course, have a pantry full of canned food that we've actually water bath canned from the garden, but sometimes there are some weeks that I can't get to the store and get the fresh things that I want. So some are unorganic, some are in a can, some have GMOs, and it's just really hard to navigate around. So in this next year, I've been trying to really stick with foods that we like and foods that will nourish us. But I will say there are some days that you're going to see on the channel, we get canned stuff from Walmart, and that is what I'm showing you today. Some easy, cheap things that you can pick up. But I will say, get them now because of this inflated price. Food shortages are all around us, but inflation is all around us. I have had comments when I first started this whole lifestyle, just from people in general when I talk about stocking up, saying that I'm a hoarder, I'm hoarding food, and I'm panic buying. And that's not the case. That's the opposite of what I'm doing. You will not find me at the store again in 2020 trying to look for bread for my family, and it's just not there. People taking up loads of toilet paper or whatever they did. because, you know, that was scary. And that's what people do when their food is threatened. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I'm doing quite the opposite of what I've been accused of. And I think it's really important to keep that in the back of your mind. So let me get you turned around and show you what I got. All right, here are some easy ones. These are just essentially the, what are they called? Chef Boyardee, but the great value kind. So spaghetti rings, pasta and meatballs, macaroni and beef. The kids like that. We took a can camping and heated it up, and that was really good. And then pork and beans and tomato sauce. This isn't that bad. My dad and I, when I was little, always used to snack on little things like this, or Vienna sausages or something like that, canned sardines. And it was really my dad that showed me all of these budget-friendly ways, because that is how he grew up. He grew up in a big family, and the income was low, and I think this is what they survived off of, other than my grandmother making things from scratch for them. So yeah, I don't really mind the flavor in here. I'm not trying to look for a 5-star meal in the event of an emergency, but yeah, these are available, and these are going to be like more whole meals. So these could even go in your bug out bag. It would be a little heavy, but I feel like you could just pop these and you can eat them cold if you wanted to, but right there is an easy one. And then speaking of beans, it would be really great to stock up on pinto beans, whatever, kidney beans, canned beans, because you're not going to need water to cook them. Dried beans are great to have in a long-term storage scenario, but when it comes to my short-term storage pantry, that's a mouthful. It's been, you know, really, really easy for me to start phasing out dried beans and start going for more of the canned items, just because of the ease of cooking. Next up, French-style green beans. The only actual vegetable that I actually like in a can that I buy quite frequently is cut green beans. I don't know why, I just like the flavor better, and just nice to have on hand. So I try and get the no salt added, but the French style green beans doesn't have that option, at least at my Walmart. So yeah, I have 2 of those. And then for sauces, I always find that that's important to have in a preparedness pantry, just so you can add some flavor to your meal. And this barbecue sauce is not bad. They have, you know, mayo, ketchup, mustard, whatever you want, but they also have simmer sauces. So there's a curry sauce in there. These flies are outrageous. There's different, you know, enchilada sauces, but I always try and pick up one flavoring sauce whenever I'm on my prepper pantry grocery trip. Next up, a green. I got collard greens. I have switched pretty much to just dehydrated greens that I had from the garden, or frozen greens. But again, it's really nice to have these. You could put this with some pinto beans and some canned ham and call it a good meal. Honestly, it would be super filling. You could even serve it with rice, but it's nice to have this option. Sorry about the blurriness there. I don't know how long that was going on for, but I do apologize. And it's, you know, just some nice nutrients. So let's just look. Calories 25, cholesterol 0, of course. Sodium is high, 190. Carbs 5, sugars 0, protein 2 grams. That's pretty good. Let's check out the protein for the French style green beans. 1 gram. So yeah, I don't know. If you're going for a green, go for collards, but of course add something to it. Some beans, some canned meat, anything like that. And then next up, Hunt sauce. You can always find that on the cheap. This has gone up on price. I remember when it was like 70 cents for this big can, but that hasn't happened anymore. So we have the traditional, and then we have the garlic and herb. That's just easy to make spaghetti with, or whatever you want to make. I have been loving my ramen lasagna. It's just such a strange recipe, but it's really good. You layer the ramen, you get some ricotta in there with some sauce and meat if you want it to, and then the ramen becomes your lasagna noodle. I know it's strange, but I found I think, yeah, I made it up on a recipe years ago, and, you know, it's just been a staple in the house. The kids think it's funny to have squiggly noodles. Next up, cream of chicken condensed soup. These are nice to have, but recently I just found a recipe to make a dried version of this. So you just need flour, milk powder, bouillon cube powder, and dehydrated onion. So I'm going to try and do that, because it would be really great to have that instead of all of this stuff in this can, because I'm not really happy with these ingredients. But again, in the event of an emergency, I'm not looking for health. I'm looking to feed my family. So cream of chicken condensed soup, water that baby down because the sodium's high. And then last on the list, I don't know if there's a glitch in the system, but this orzo was 80 cents and they honored the price. It rang up as over $2, but then I showed them the picture. I even went back to the aisle with them and it was 80 cents. So I stocked up on probably 5 boxes of these, and there was plenty left. I did not hoard them or anything, but I did put the rest in Mylar. Orzo is nice to have for soup. So yeah, you can look for grains there if you want, pastas, all of that. And that's it. That's what I got from Walmart. I feel like, you know, this is attainable. All of this was under $20. All of this was under $10 actually. And no, it was $11.65. So not too bad, but that was for 1 week and I've stocked up and I have food for a very long time. So yay for that. I think there was one more thing, but I can't. Oh, here it is. The dried mashed potatoes. I will say I'm a sad Polish person that sometimes cheats on her pierogies, but sometimes the kids want a really easy meal. They love pierogies. They will eat it. Whatever I put in the pierogi, they will eat. So I like to mix this with some greens and some meat, and I just make a quick dough and make pierogies, and it saves me time. I don't have to sit and wait on boiling potatoes, but these are really great to find at Walmart. They don't have these smaller versions in the Walmart brand, but they do have a larger box for that I've showed you. So yes, these potatoes are delish. Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope this gave you some inspiration to stock up on the cheap. I know all of us are feeling these inflated prices. I am curious to know if you care to share what's going on in your area. I am in Northeast Colorado and I am in a rather large county, and I have seen prices just skyrocket. I know it's really tricky, but if you stick with me, I know I can get us through this. Again, if you are struggling, please dial your local 211. If you're not comfortable with doing that, go ahead and email me and I will do my best to help you get food in your area. I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you're new, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.